Chapter 16 Young Master Xiao, Looking for Death. Eh? Brother Yulong? What's wrong? Xiao Che quickly stood up with an alarmed look. Xiao Yulong revealed a completely stiff and ugly smile as he shook off the pieces of the broken wine cup from his hand. It's nothing. I wasn't careful and lost control of my strength. Xiao Yang's expression wasn't better than Xiao Yulong's by much. He looked like someone who had just eaten a dead insect. After hearing Xiao Yulong's words, he quickly interrupted, I know, it's definitely because Big Brother had another breakthrough in his profound strength. Right after you make a breakthrough, the growth of the profound strength will cause it to occasionally go out of control. Then it's like that. Xiao Che seemed to have suddenly realized, then quickly said, Big Brother Yulong unexpected had another breakthrough, congratulations. I heard that Brother Yulong advanced to the 3rd level of the nascent profound realm 3 months ago. It's only been 3 months, and you actually had another breakthrough. It's not for nothing that you're the ace of our generation. It seems like besides Brother Yulong, there's no one else that the Xiao sect could pick. Xiao Yulong's face twitched. He stood up, strongly suppressing his heart's turmoil and spoke with a forced smile, Brother Xiao Che is flattering me. But it's true that I just had a breakthrough, and that my profound strength is a bit unstable. I must immediately stabilize it and can no longer continue to entertain you. No problem, no problem. Xiao Che quickly waved his hand, nodding with understanding. Of course, Brother Yulong stabilizing his profound strength is more important. Then, I won't continue to bother Brother Yulong. Thanks you for today's invitation and hospitality. After a few days, when Brother Yulong is selected by the Xiao sect, I'll definitely be the first to congratulate you. After saying that, Xiao Che very politely left. Xiao Yang also pretended to leave with him, but after Xiao Che was far away, he quickly turned around and rushed back. As soon as he entered the door, he could see Xiao Yulong's gloomy and frightening expression. Big Brother, about this thing, seeing Xiao Yulong's expression, Xiao Yang fiercely swallowed a mouthful of saliva and approached with trepidation. Ah! Xiao Yulong let out a bellow of rage as if he was insane. He swept all of the wine and tea cups off of the table. After everything broke into pieces, he gave a ferocious kick, knocking over the stone table. His hands were clenched tight, his breath heavy with panting, and his eyes burned with flames of jealousy and hatred. An incomparably low voice escaped from his mouth, didn't you tell me? Xia Qingyu would never let Xiao Che, that waste of a person, touch her. Xiao Yulong very rarely went out of control. His current state caused Xiao Yang's scalp to go numb and his back cold. He said in a panic, it must be Xiao Che, that fellow making things up. Xia Qingyu couldn't possibly have fallen for that fellow. Bullshit. Xiao Yulong said with a low roar, is there anything about that piece of waste, Xiao Che, that I don't know? You think he can lie to my face? What kind of person do you think I am? Xiao Yulong had a considerable amount of shrewdness and vision. He has known Xiao Che for 16 years, and believed that he knew him like the back of his own hand. He firmly believed that when it comes to this lacking profound strength, cowardly, and self-abased person, no change of his mood could escape from his eyes. When Xiao Yang had asked him that question just now, whether it was the look in his eyes, his expression, or his subconscious behavior, none of them had any signs of guile. Xia Qingyu was the woman that he has vowed to definitely obtain. One reason why he allowed them to marry was because he was helpless to stop it. The other was that he was convinced that even if Xia Qingyu married Xia Che, she would never give herself to him wholly. Instead, it would make things more convenient for himself. But he had never thought that on the 2nd day of getting married, the result would be that Xia Qingyu had already been sampled by Xiao Che. The anger in his heart right now, along with his jealousy and resentment, was almost enough to cause his chest to burst. Xiao Yang stood there with his neck shrunk back, not daring to even breath loudly. In the past, Xiao Yulong was slated to become the next clan master. He was always very loyal in front of him. Now that Xiao Yulong was most likely going to be a member of the Xiao sect, he even more so didn't dare to oppose him. After a long while, Xiao Yulong was still panting heavily. It was obvious how large of a blow this was to him. He suddenly said in a deep voice, "Where did Xiao Che go after leaving this place?" He went to the east courtyard. He might be going to the kitchen area, Xiao Yang replied with great care. Xiao Yulong angled his eyebrows, a dark cloud hanging over his features. He muttered under his breath, "I always thought that Xia Qingyu had an exceptionally gorgeous complexion and talent, and also a dignity and aloofness that other women couldn't compare to. I didn't expect that even the most despised of the Xiao clan members could catch her interest." Xiao Yulong let out a cold snort and with a fierce shake of his arms, walked towards the courtyard's exterior. Just as Xiao Yang was about to catch up, he suddenly realized where he wanted to go and immediately stopped obediently. Afterwards, he slowly wiped the cold sweat off of his forehead. Xiao Che left Xiao Yulong's courtyard and walked towards the kitchen at a normal gait to pick up some breakfast. Afterwards, he leisurely walked towards Xiao Lingxi's courtyard. If anyone got close, they would be able to hear him talking to himself. "Xiao Yulong should be hurrying over to my place, right? Oh. I wonder if my wife Qingyu will break his leg? Or both legs? Or 3 legs? TL, 3rd leg is his D." He reached Xiao Lingxi's courtyard, but the door was securely closed. Xiao Che knocked on the door. "Little aunt, I brought a light breakfast." The door opened and Xiao Che walked in, shutting the door shut with a *bang star. Xiao Lingxi was sprawled on the table, her hands resting below her chin, and her eyelids drooping, a thoroughly weak and dispirited appearance. Xiao Che placed the light breakfast on the table, then waved his hand in front of her face a few times. "Didn't sleep well last night?" Upon hearing Xiao Che mention last night, Xiao Lingxi let out a low whimpering noise and buried her entire face in her palms. "You can still talk about last night. Xia Qingyu came to deliver a blanket. She must have seen everything. What to do? I'm too ashamed to see anyone. *sob. It's not that bad, is it?" Xiao Che rubbed his forehead, then sat at her side. He said with a smile, "Rest easy. You're my little aunt. What's wrong with us sleeping while snuggling together?" "It's exactly because I'm your little aunt." Xiao Lingxi shook her head as if she was being driven mad. "Also, all of last night, your hand was on my sob. She must have seen everything. What should I do if she tells someone? What should I do?" "Relax, she definitely won't tell anyone else. Besides, you're my little aunt. What's the big deal if, when going to sleep, I accidentally touched your breast?" Xiao Che very calmly stated. You aren't allowed to talk anymore." Xiao Lingxi shook her head even harder, her entire cheek blushing. The reason why she acted that way last night must have been because they were alone, in the dark, and her heart was in a state of confusion. Thinking back now, she even more so believed that she must have been insane at that time. "I'm 100% sure. Even if she did see, she absolutely won't tell anyone. To begin with, she wouldn't think in the direction that you're thinking of. All right, come quickly eat breakfast or it'll get cold." Xiao Che comforted her with a light laugh. When thinking about the same thing, a woman's heart was after all different from a man's. "Oh," Xiao Lingxi at long last lifted her face from her palms and began to tearily eat the breakfast that Xiao Che brought. As Xiao Che expected, Xiao Yulong headed straight towards his courtyard as soon as he left. As soon as he entered, he spotted Xia Qingyu currently standing in the center of the courtyard. Xia Qingyu calmly stood under the pomegranate tree in the center of the courtyard with her arms raised high. Her expression was calm and serious. Clearly she was quietly cultivating her profound strength. Her long hair naturally spilled over her shoulders, soft and glossy under the morning light. On her lovely face were two black thin and curvy eyebrows, similar to a pair of crescent moons. Her two tranquil pupils, clear like crystals, were like the radiance of a flowing dream. Her entire body was covered by a red dress, her faintly discernible curves slim and beautiful, a contrast to the creamy, white jade-like skin. This was Xiao Yulong's first time seeing Xia Qingyue's full peerless magnificence up close and personal like this. In that instant, he was thoroughly stupefied on the spot, all of his attention drawn to this exceedingly beautiful scene in front of his eyes. The rest of the world, in a blink of an eye, lost its color. Upon noticing Xiao Yulong's arrival, Xia Qingyue's posture didn't change at all. Her eyes continued to gaze ahead while a calm voice left her mouth, "Xiao Che is not here." Her voice was cold and indifferent, yet was as sweet and comforting as that of a fairy. Xiao Yulong only then returned to his senses, but there was no way to suppress the stunned and infatuated look in his eyes. He immediately adjusted himself to his best mode and bowed slightly towards Xia Qingyu, saying with a smile, "Hello, Lady Xia. I am Xiao Yulong, Xiao Che's elder brother." Xia Qingyu was not an excessively cold and haughty person. The other person's mild language and respectful posture and voice caused her to glance at him. Also, it's not as if she hadn't heard of the name Xiao Yulong. After all, he is the son of this generation's Xiao clan's clan master. Just as she was glancing at him, preparing to politely respond, she saw the overwhelming infatuation in Xiao Yulong's eyes, and his obscene desires. Immediately, her fine eyebrows twitched. Her trace of goodwill to the previous polite behavior and refined appearance of this man turned into disgust in a flash. Even though Xiao Che would frequently cause her heart to erupt into anger with his vulgar mouth and uncouth hands, but at the very least, she never saw any trace of obscene desires in his eyes. But this Xiao Yulong on the other hand. Xia Qingyue's dull voice suddenly contained a hint of coldness. Her words became even more to the point, "Xiao Che is not here." In the face of Xia Qingyue's clear coldness, Xiao Yulong seemed to be in disbelief. He nodded his head, saying, "That's really too bad. However, I've heard many good things about Lady Xia. To be able to see Lady Xia makes this trip worth it." As he spoke, Xiao Yulong's movements, facial expression, look, and voice all changed to the most perfect state, showing off his own charm. He was confident that he was thousands of times stronger than Xiao Che. If Xia Qingyu can fall for even Xiao Che, how could she resist him once he puts forward the effort? "I'm currently cultivating, forgive me for not being able to receive visitors." Xia Qingyue's eyes were tranquil, but her voice already carrying a tinge of annoyance. A truly beautiful woman would warm the heart and delight the eyes regardless of their posture or expression. Seeing the seemingly fairy turn to human Xia Qingyu, Xiao Yulong's eyes grew more and more passionate. The jealousy in his heart also burned hotter and hotter. This kind of fairy among humans actually became that waste, Xiao Che's wife, but had also been seized by a pig. It was simply a complete waste, something he could not accept nor forgive. Upon hearing that Lady Xia had just turned 16 this year, but had already cultivated to the 10th level of the elementary profound realm, Yulong has always admired you, and been fascinated without end. I believe that when Lady Xia reaches my age, you'll definitely be considerably stronger than me. Xiao Yulong moderated his mood, his face gentle as he spoke. However, even though there's only one level between the 10th level of the elementary profound realm and the first level of the nascent profound realm, but without a path, it is still quite hard to cross that gap. Though I dare not compare my talent with that of Lady Xia, with my experience, I still have quite a bit of insight towards breaking past the elementary profound realm. How about I exchange pointers with Lady Xia for a bit? As he finished speaking, Xiao Yulong walked forward with a smiling expression, his hands gathering his profound strength before reaching for Xia Qingyue's snowy hand. Xia Qingyu may be astonishingly talented, but she was still only in the elementary profound realm. Xiao Yulong was already at the third level of the nascent profound realm and so definitely had the qualifications to teach Xie Qingyu. At least that's what he believed. Seeing that Xiao Yulong not only had obscene desires in his eyes, but had also moved his hands, Xie Qingyu's beautiful eyes suddenly flashed with a blue light. She abruptly held out a hand, empty-handedly pushing in Xiao Yulong's direction. Seeing that Xie Qingyu's hand had unexpectedly extended her jade-like hand out of her own will, Xiao Yulong's eyes revealed a happy expression. He was just about to grab her when he suddenly felt an irresistible force ruthlessly slam into his stomach. With no chance to make a sound, his body flew straight out, flipping in the air once, before falling headfirst onto the ground. At the same time, his two front teeth were knocked free. Xiao Yulong standing amongst the Xiao clan was extremely high. If a woman that had married into the Xiao clan were to receive his sexual harassment, even if she could overpower him, she wouldn't dare harm him. However, what kind of backing did Xie Qingyu have? Behind her was Frozen Cloud Immortal Palace. Even if she beat him until he fell flat on his face, even if she asked for his life, once her status as a disciple of Frozen Cloud Immortal Palace came to light, Xiao Yunhai wouldn't dare complain, but would rather be forced to apologize with a smiling face.